Karnataka conversion bill. That's a subject matter of debate number one. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, there is something that's brewing in the neighborhood which should concern all of us. The fanatics seem to be having a free run, and this is happening just kilometers away from the seat of government in Islamabad in Pakistan. These are the visuals that are coming through, and it is a cause for concern. CNN-News18 Mega Exclusive. First up. This is another case of rising extremism in Pakistan's federal capital, with Pak security forces shown up as helpless against the fanatics, these extremist elements led by Maulana Aziz, who today occupied Lal Masjid once again. This is just 3 kilometers from the Prime Minister's office in Islamabad that this has happened, at about 200 people. It was a siege of Lal Masjid by gunmen, teenagers, minors, all of them, 200 plus, led by this Imam Abdul Aziz. And this is a former Khatib. Abdul Aziz is the former Khatib of Lal Masjid. He's gone there and occupied this place once again. The visuals, very, very dramatic, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at what is going on. Men, women, everybody carrying out and coming out. And this is Maulana Aziz Ghazi with his supporters demanding implementation of Islamic law. Sources say that he, along with 200 children, gunmen and his supporters, along with equipment and beds in 3 vehicles, reached Lal Masjid, and this happened day before yesterday on the 13th. This entire mosque was vacated after negotiations with senior cops. He occupied that place. They were armed to the teeth, and they were also ready to use force. This is what happened there. The cops also standing there, and look at that. Youngsters, minors with sticks and lathis standing there. This is 3 kilometers from Islamabad. These are the visuals that are coming through. So fanatics having a free run. Fanatics having a free run, ladies and gentlemen, in Pakistan. Pathikrit Pine with us. Pathikrit, Lal Masjid was the same place where just a few days ago we showed videos of how women were being taught to behead. They were being coached. They were being indoctrinated, radicalized, but more importantly, they had knives with them and dummies, and they were being taught how to butcher somebody. The same place under this man.
Anand, you're absolutely right. And if you remember what happened in 2007, that was the same place where the Lal Masjid siege happened. See, these are the epicenters of radicalization in Pakistan, which has been mentored, incubated, funded for a long time by the ISI itself. So frankly, what is happening in the larger context is this. When you talk about Tehreek-e-Taliban or the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Labbaik or the Lal Masjid, these are the organizations for a long time have been financed by Pakistan. Today, Pakistan is imploding from inside for a simple reason, that Pakistan was never a sustainable economy. It has always was bankrolled either by the West or by the Chinese. Today, both the sides have actually pulled their strings, and today Pakistan literally has no money, and that's the reason these serpents have today become Frankenstein. Let me tell you one thing, whether it is the Tehreek-e-Taliban or the Lal Masjid, they all have huge grievance against the establishment and the deep state of Pakistan, because all of them think that when there was a time when Pakistan used them, and when the other opportunity came, they actually, Pakistan actually dumped them and used force against them on the behest of somebody else. In case of Lal Masjid, there were allegations and strong evidence of involvement or connection with Al-Qaeda. Tehreek-e-Taliban and the bombing and the drone attack on Tehreek-e-Taliban in Fata region by the Americans with help of Pakistan is all too well known. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Labbaik is an organization which has huge following today. So frankly speaking, today Pakistan is actually, reaping the harvest of the radicalization, which for a long time it has channelized towards other countries, because it's always had the money to actually keep it suppressed within its own country. Today the money is gone, and that's the reason why these serpents, these creatures have actually become turned Frankenstein, and actually they're looking for an opportunity to engulf and completely do away with the state of Pakistan. None of them believe in the state of Pakistan or the idea of Pakistan. Anand, they actually believe in Sharia law. They believe in something else, a caliphate or an emirate that they want to create out of Pakistan. And so the deep state of Pakistan is in deep trouble today because they are not in a position to fight or control the serpents which on behalf of the deep state of Pakistan and Pakistan army all these years were fighting. But today they have taken up the arms against an army which is extremely reluctant to fight it out because they have not the money and they have always been businessmen. Pakistan army was never interested in fighting it out, be it against India or elsewhere. It has always been just mentoring. Today they are not in a position to fight. Floods have actually exposed the dark skeletons of Pakistan and what can actually happen if you indoctrinate in this manner and you don't have the money.
This is a state-owned masjid. And he believes that he should be the khatib or the sermon giver on this masjid, so that's why he's occupied it. And the cops did not know what to do because some of these people, these minors, teenagers, they were armed with SMGs, semi-automatic guns.
Two reasons for this. Number one, there is a place called Dera Adam Khil in Pakistan where you can get the best of the replica of the most sophisticated weapons. Secondly, the money, the weapon systems that the Americans dumped in Afghanistan, a part of it actually came into Pakistan. Third, a very important reason for this, this incapacitation of Pakistan's security forces is primarily because most of them actually don't think that these Lal Masjid or Pakistan Tehreek-e-Labbaik is doing anything wrong. The reason is this: they have radicalized their security forces to fight against India to such extent that today those who are even talking against Pakistan state and talking about taking up arms against the Pakistan state, they have the tacit support perhaps of the foot soldier of Pakistan army who thinks, and you remember, I repeat once more, the Salman Taseer incident where his security guard Mumtaz Qadri actually shot him and he was actually given a hero's welcome. Mumtaz Qadri was given a hero's welcome because for the most of the people of Pakistan, they don't think that Mumtaz Qadri, by killing Salman Taseer, who was talking against the blasphemy law, was doing anything wrong. So frankly speaking, today, part of the incapacitation is there is reluctance to fight against the state of Pakistan, which is perhaps not even paying salaries because they are also fed up with the inflation. At the same time, ideologically, they don't think these organizations like the Tehreek-e-Taliban or the Lal Masjid guys are doing anything wrong because they believe they're in congruence with what the Lal Masjid believe. Perhaps some of them have actually joined the security forces after graduating from Lal Masjid.
No, huge issue of and in terms of fanatics having a free run. You've had Altaf Hussain group coming back in Karachi, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan back in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region. You have the Tehreek-e-Labbaik is now in Punjab. It's taken control, and now this guy Abdul Aziz running rampant there on the streets of Islamabad, trying to surround and lay siege to a state-owned masjid. It's a state-owned masjid. 2 days the cops did not know what to do. And finally they've tried to negotiate with him and they've all moved away. But he's threatening to come back, saying that you need to give me control of this place. This is the same place where we showed you visuals of women being taught how to butcher. Sar Tan Se Juda slogans were being chanted and they were being taught how to butcher. This is the same Lal Masjid, state-owned masjid in Islamabad, 3 kilometers from Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's residence. Pathikrit Pain, thank you for your inputs. Moving on here.